So, AI tools are everywhere now, right? They're totally changing how we work. In this explainer, we're going to walk through exactly how to use our new AI toolkit to really boost your productivity, all while keeping our company data 100% secure.
And that brings us to the big question, the one we're all thinking about. How can we tap into all the amazing things AI can do? You know, the speed, the help, the creativity, but still meet our huge responsibility to protect our data. Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do both.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about our commitment to security. Then, I'll introduce you to what we're calling our walled garden AI. After that, we'll get hands-on with your new AI toolkit, see Gemini in action, and then wrap it all up with a quick start guide you can use today.
All right, let's dive right into our first section, our security commitment. You know, before we even touch the tools, it is so important to understand the why behind this whole new policy. This isn't just about a new set of rules. It's about our fundamental promise to keep information safe.
Here's the bottom line. Everything we do has to meet these really strict DHHS and HIPAA security standards. So, our updated AI policy, which you can now find in the Employee Handbook, officially makes sure that our use of these new tools is fully in line with those critical requirements.
So, how do we actually do that? How do we meet those tough standards? Well, we've adopted something called a walled garden approach to AI. Let's take a closer look at what that means and why it's just so good at keeping our data protected.
Okay, this slide really breaks it down and shows the huge difference. On the left, you've got the public AI tools, things like ChatGPT or Grammarly. When you put our data in there, it can actually be used to train their models, which means our information is out of our control. But on the right, that's our secure tool, Gemini for Workspace. With Gemini, our data is protected by a legal agreement, it's never seen by humans, and it's never, ever used for public training.
So, to put it as clearly as possible, this is the new rule. Gemini for Workspace is now our only approved AI tool. That means all other public tools and extensions, including things like Grammarly, are now prohibited. This is our single, secure way forward.
Now, you've heard me mention the term BAA a couple of times, and it's super important to know what that actually is. A business associate agreement is a legal contract we have with Google. It legally binds them to handle our data with the exact same HIPAA-level security that we do. It's basically our guarantee, our legal shield for data privacy.
Okay, so we've got the security stuff down. Now for the fun part, your new AI toolkit. We're going to shift from policy to practice and check out some really powerful ways you can start using Gemini in your work every single day.
Now, this might sound familiar, especially if you caught Dr. David Murphy's keynote. He talked about effective effort, right? And how the right tools can reduce our cognitive load. Well, that is exactly what Gemini is here for, to help you focus your brain power on what really matters.
First up, we have a strategy we're calling the editor. Since browser extensions like Grammarly are no longer allowed, you can now use Gemini's built-in features as a way more powerful and totally secure replacement to polish up all your writing.
And the best part? It is so easy to use. When you're in Gmail or a Google Doc, just look for this little pencil with sparkles icon. From there, you can instantly make your tone more professional with Formalize or clean up grammar and spelling with Polish. It's all right there, built right in. All right, next up is the initiator strategy. And you know, this one is for all of us who have stared at that dreaded blinking cursor on a blank page, just not knowing how to start a difficult email or a big report. We've all been there, right?
So instead of that struggle, you just click the little star icon to open the Gemini side panel. You tell it what you need, and boom, it gives you a really solid first draft to work with. Your job just went from creating something from nothing to simply editing and improving. It's a game changer.
All right, so we've talked about the big ideas. Now let's see how this actually works day to day. We're going to look at some practical, real-world prompts you can start using right away. Check this out. This is a perfect example of that initiator strategy in action. And notice how specific it is. It defines who it's for, what it's about, and, this is key, the tone. That's the kind of detail that helps Gemini give you back something that's actually useful.
Okay, but Gemini isn't just about starting things from scratch. It's also amazing for dealing with information overload. We call this the synthesizer strategy, and it's perfect for tackling those huge email chains or long documents that just zap your energy.
I mean, just think about the power of this prompt. Imagine you've got an email thread that's 20 messages deep. Instead of reading every single reply, you can just ask Gemini to boil it all down to 3 bullet points and tell you what to do next. That lets you spend your time actually doing the work, not just catching up. All right, for our last strategy, let's level up a bit. We call this the resource creator. This is where we move beyond just emails and reports and start using Gemini as a partner to create really valuable materials for our clients and families.
This is where it gets really cool. You can actually tell Gemini to act as someone, like an empathetic caseworker. With a prompt like this, it can help you create a super helpful, tailored guide for a family in a fraction of the time it would normally take.
Whew! Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So in our last section, let's pull it all together with a simple, quick start guide. Think of this as your new cheat sheet for using Gemini. So here's the cheat sheet. It really just boils down to 2 icons. If you want to fix up text that's already written, look for that pencil with sparkles icon. If you want to summarize something or start from scratch, use the star icon to open the side panel. That's it. It's a simple 2-icon system.
And before we wrap up, just a few final things to keep in mind. First, a little pro tip. If you're looking for that pencil icon and you don't see it, just highlight your text and it should pop right up. Also, a quick policy update. Our secure AI will now be used for all meeting minutes and supervisor consultations, and personal recording devices are still prohibited. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to HR.
And that's it. We've gone through the why, the how, and the what of using AI securely and effectively in our work. You now have this incredibly powerful and compliant toolkit right at your fingertips. So the only question left is, what amazing thing are you going to create first?